The Mamba mentality has left a mark. Shout out to the NBA legend, Kobe, and your daughter, Gigi. From Tom Brady to Drew Bledsoe. Rain, sleet, or snow, I grind. I am clutch. I am the difference maker.
Clip it. Let's go.
I am the game changer.
Hello and welcome to the TWSN Patreon page. Here we will provide you with the sports betting tips, picks, and information in order for you to become a successful gambler. We have 5 packages that I think really do an incredible job of providing the information tailored to you, what you want, and what your sports betting needs are. For more information, reach out to the TWSN team, but we have a ton of stuff coming your way. Content from fantasy football, sports betting for UFC, NBA, NHL, and of course, the NFL. We are so excited to be able to bring this service to you, and let us know if there's any more information you need.
Get up, let me begin. This is TWSN. You ain't heard about us yet, well you better know now because it's the place that it all goes down on.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the best show on the internet, The Game Changers by TWSN. How's it going, guys?
We're good. I'm excited. How about you guys?
Look, I thought you were going to spam just like welcome, because you double hit the video, and I was like, oh no, if you're going to put more of me in this intro, it's going to be ridiculous. But man, look good, feel good. We have football tomorrow. We had college football this weekend. I have not been this jacked up in a long time. It's incredible.
I'm juiced, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk with you guys, and I got some hot takes for you guys this week, but I'm excited to share them.
Hey, man, I'm juiced to be here, too. I think it's going to be a great show, great week. Best weekend of the year coming up, first weekend of football. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Aiden, what about you, my man?
The same thing. This is week 1 of the NFL season. It's right upon us. I am extremely excited. I'm happy to be here. This is one of the best times of the year to talk football with all 5 of you, so I'm very excited.
Hey, guys, before we get started in the show, make sure we check out all of the socials. Let's check out TWSN YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We got everything. You can check out our personal stuff too. Got Cody's and I's listed in the right here as our name tags. Make sure you check everybody else out though. We got a lot of content pumping out all year long.
Yeah, and speaking of just some absolutely fire content that we're going to have coming out, obviously this is the first week of real NFL football, and with that is going to come some fire betting tips from the TWSN Patreon, patreon.com/TWSN. Go ahead and check that out because I'm telling you right now, our team has absolutely crushed college football. We've crushed baseball the last few weeks. NFL is going to be no different. And I can't say this enough. Like, when you spend however much on that Patreon, you're going to get that money back probably by the end of the week because we are good at what we do, and man, it is electric content. So make sure you guys subscribe to the Patreon. It's really some good stuff.
Absolutely. And the man behind it all that does a phenomenal job, Daniel Alameda. Daniel, how we been doing this week with the Patreon? Do you know the record offhand, how we did, how we finished out?
Yeah, I mean, first off, college football, we killed it. We were up at, I think, for sure 50%. So, like, basically, like 10-5. And for baseball, like, we've been killing it. Our best bets, so basically our 2 best bets every single day, we are 28-2. 28-2. So it's crazy. We haven't even had this loaded up for a month, and people are already making their money back. I was just telling my friends, hey, all it takes is one day of betting on NFL football, and you already make your money back. So there's no reason that everyone shouldn't be doing this.
So when people tell me that they have not yet subscribed to the TWSN Patreon, this is my face. I don't get it.
Are you in that gift, bro?
But you probably should change it. With that being said, guys, we got a jam-packed show, a lot of stuff we want to talk about. Let's get into it. Last week, we didn't get to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it now. Ben Simmons has officially told the Philadelphia 76ers brass, you know what? I am a star. I am this, I am that, and I want out of Philly. And I'm pretty sure Philly fans probably don't give a damn, to be honest with you. They probably want him out of Philly as bad as he wants to be out of Philly. What are our initial thoughts, right? This is a two-part question. What are our thoughts on Ben Simmons officially saying he does not want to return to the Philadelphia 76ers? And the next part is, who should trade for him? This is the first topic of the day, my man MS in the comment section. We're going to be talking about a lot of NFL. Hold your horses, but we got to talk about everything. So, Alex, I'm going to start with you, my man.
I've gone on record to say that Ben Simmons at this point is an underrated player. He's better than a lot of people are giving him credit for. He is still a starter on a championship roster. Is he a superstar? No. I think everyone is past thinking he's a superstar. With that being said, I did see that him and Damian Lillard recently followed each other on Instagram. Damian Lillard's been liking posts about Ben Simmons. I think that makes the most sense because Dame made it very clear that he wanted some help on his team, and the Blazers did not do that at all in free agency. So this is their chance to go out and get Ben Simmons, get him a powerful wing that maybe can help him, and not to mention their defense will get so much better. The Blazers are so bad on defense. You add a guy like Ben Simmons, and that automatically steps up your team a ton.
Aiden, I know you have a hot take on this. Aiden, what are your thoughts on Ben Simmons and him requesting? Notice I put air quotations in front of him requesting because not like they haven't been shopping him all offseason, right? And him requesting a trade. And where do you think the next logical fit for him is?
Right now, I don't think there is a logical fit because the 76ers asking prices through the roof for a player that is still good. Let's not get it mistaken, but Ben Simmons, his contract is huge, $35 million per year around. That's the estimate of his salary. Over the next 4 years, he's not worth it. And the Sixers are asking for 2, 3, 4 first-round picks, a key young player or two. The asking price is way too high right now for Ben Simmons, and I don't see a reason why any of the other 29 teams in the NBA would want to go after Ben Simmons at that price.
I actually like what John Wick, I love the name too, my man. I love what he said in the comment section. He said Simmons should go to the Warriors, so you mean the Warriors should trade for Simmons. Daniel, what are your thoughts on that? Should the Warriors trade for Ben Simmons?
No. I don't think so. I think it would mess up everything they have going for them because Steph Curry's your ball handler, right? He's your ball handler. And if you pair him with Ben Simmons, another ball dominant guy, a guy who can't really succeed off the ball, there is no point, right? So I think the Warriors have a perfectly fine roster right now. And there are other moves that can be made besides Ben Simmons. But I've been saying all off season long, Alex hit the nail on the head. You got to go to Portland, man. If Dame wants out, make that trade. Send a package of Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, 3 first-round picks, 4 first-round picks. I don't care how much it takes. Pair Damian Lillard with Joel Embiid, and that gives you the best chance you have to win an NBA championship. So I know, like I said, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if Dame wants
You will not let this die. You will literally not let this trade die. You've been talking about this trade since it first was even rumored. Listen, the Portland Trail Blazers are not trading Damian Lillard to the 76ers. It ain't happening. Sign it.
Let's
sign
also-
it off. What you say, Daniel? Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell your mama. Tell your dad. It ain't happening. They're not trading him. They're not trading Damian Lillard. They're not going to pair Damian Lillard up with Joel Embiid. It ain't happening. Maybe Ben Simmons goes there and he plays with Damian Lillard. But they sure as hell that trade does nothing for the Portland Trailblazers. Literally zilch. Not
if Dame wants out, it gives them a lot. If Dame wants out, it gives them a lot.
Damian Lillard posted on it. Back for more. ... Rip City is my city. Dame's not leaving Portland. Let's just make that straight. Let's make it clear. Dame's not leaving Portland. If Ben Simmons and Dame are going to have any relation in this trade or whatever, it's because Ben Simmons went to Portland. A move I actually kind of like, being a Blazers fan myself. I just want to see something different.
No, I hear you. I want to hear what Cody has to say on this.
I'm going to be honest. I think he gets shipped to a young team that doesn't really have much.
Did you say the Cleveland Cavaliers?
That is exactly who I was going to say is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think personally that they're looking to shop Sexton, right? And honestly, if the 76ers are looking for a young, talented player, that's the youngest and most talented player that they are going to get. Because Ben Simmons isn't worth a whole hell of a lot. at least not what they're asking for. So if they can get a guy like Colin Sexton and a pick, I think that's a win for the Sixers, and I think it's a win for Cleveland because they're not going to extend Colin Sexton as it stands because they have Darius Garland, and quite frankly, they can afford to take his salary because free agents are not going to come to the city of Cleveland. Like with small market teams don't have free agents come there unless they get a guy like LeBron. He's not coming back. So this makes sense. I think this is a trade that does make sense for both parties.
We'll see about that one. We'll see if LeBron does come back. They'll tell them not to retire his jersey.
LeBron's going to wherever his kid ends up getting drafted is exactly what's going to happen.
Cleveland. It could be Cleveland. Listen, don't sleep.
Because they might have the number 1 overall pick.
And I'm here for it. And if that happens, I got my hat somewhere lying around here. Cleveland Cavaliers, I am back, baby. Let's go.
Bandwagon,
no, seriously, I'm a Celtics fan, a proud Celtics fan. That's actually where I would love to see Ben Simmons go, to be honest with you. I would love to see Ben Simmons with the Celtics. That me personally. That's just what I would. No, it's no stop. Don't tell me to stop. It's not like a bad movie that you're watching. You can't tell me to stop. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep talking. Yeah, Ben Simmons should be a Celtic. I would love to see that. I think him paired up with Jason Tatum and Jalen. Come on now. One can dream. But
if you're a Celtic fan, that's not even a dream. That's a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I love it. I don't care what you guys say. I love it. No, you can't tell me anything. I love it. I'm here for it. No, but in all seriousness, since we're talking about point guard switching teams, we didn't get a chance to touch on this last week. Guys, we're kind of pretty much just making up for lost topics we didn't talk about last week. But since we're talking about a point guard switching teams, that happened. Rajon Rondo returns back to the city of LA. And you already know, LA Bron. I don't know. I'm hyped for it. I'm excited for it. I want to hear what your initial thoughts are, guys. Who is the big not about Rajon Rondo returning to the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Because we all know he's probably going to be on the bench. But my question is, who is the biggest threat to the Lakers' title aspirations in the Western Conference Finals? Who is the Lakers' biggest threat in the Western Conference to their championship aspirations? Cody, you seem like you have a hot take. Let's hear it.
Look, I'm going Jazz, right? And I know it's not a sexy pick, right? Like nobody thinks, oh, wow, Utah. But the Utah Jazz have a young, talented roster that can score and they can play defense. I'm going to be honest. I don't think they have much of a chance because I don't think really anybody has a whole lot of a chance against the Lakers, at least not in the West. But if I had to pick a team, I don't think the Suns can sustain what they did last year. They played incredible for a great stretch. It's really hard to repeat something like that. I'm going to take the Utah Jazz. I'm going to hope that they make it to the Western Conference Finals. I think Donovan Mitchell is an electric player, one of my favorites in the league. And we all know that Rudy Gobert is an elite defender, but that's my pick. And quite frankly, I think it would be exciting, although I'm sure a lot of basketball enthusiasts would get bored with that matchup. But hey, it's not their pick. It's mine. So I'm going Utah.
John,
Sacramento
Kings.
Kings.
We love you in the comment section, my man. He says Sacramento Kings to lock. That's gonna be funny. Let's go to Daniel. Yeah, Daniel, who's the biggest threat? Cody says the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I gotta go with the Clippers. I've got to go with the Clippers just because the past 2 seasons, they both this past year, Kawhi Leonard doesn't go down, they make the finals. Like that's pretty much obviously that's a hypothetical, but that team, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, you still cannot count those guys out. 2 top 15 players on the same team. I think they have the most star power. Like I was looking at the Nuggets, and obviously the Nuggets have a chance with Jokic and Murray coming back. I just think giving Kawhi Leonard, if you get a healthy Kawhi Leonard and a healthy Paul George, we saw what they did in the playoffs.
He's gonna miss the entire.
Yeah, that's cool, but he's gonna be back in the playoffs. No, he'll make it. He'll make it back. He'll be back by the playoffs.
No. If the Clippers make the playoffs, he'll be back.
Oh no, they'll
yeah.
It's a dangerous team though. It's a healthy Kawhi Leonard and a healthy Paul George.
Absolutely. But we're talking hypotheticals, right? Because right now he's not. Right now, as it stands, Kawhi Leonard's slated to miss the entire season. NBA
season. That's cool. That's cool.
No, it's not cool because what we're talking about is who's the biggest threat to them.
Well, they don't have a threat.
How frequently, though, do you see teams actually have a guy who comes back for the playoffs and then make a run? Because I feel like that almost never happens. Like what? Like really, truly, I feel like we say it all the time. We're like, oh well, if he can make it back in time for a playoff push, but does that like when they come back, are they in game shape? No. Like when they come back, can they compete at a high level? Like, does it fit in with the team? If the team even makes it there, I just feel like that's real hopeful, and I feel like a lot of like as a Pacers fan, I've seen that multiple times. Like Paul George and it's Oladipo. It's like, oh well, if he can come back healthy in time for the playoffs, it's a big if.
Right. Alex, I'm curious to hear what you have to say. I know you're a LeBron stan just like myself, but I'm actually curious. Who do you think is the biggest threat to the Lakers Western Conference Championship, title aspirations, essentially?
To be honest, there isn't many teams that, to me, at face value, provide a real threat. So I was going to say the same thing Daniel said. The Clippers at full strength are the scariest thing for the Lakers. That's the only team I could see that could actually put up a fight. All the other ones, when the Lakers are at full strength, there's nobody in the West that can compete for them. Now, we look over at the East, and maybe they have a problem with the Nets. Maybe you can make that argument. But nobody else in the West but the Clippers at full strength, to me, pose that much of a threat to the Lakers' title aspirations.
Wow, I'm surprised nobody is saying the Phoenix Suns, the team that was just literally in the championship. Nobody's saying the Denver Nuggets getting Jamal Murray back. Nobody. I mean, that's just me. Hell, why hasn't anyone said the Golden State Warriors potentially?
I was going to say the Golden State Warriors. I think realistically the best option against the Lakers in the West is the healthiest team, and I think we've kind of seen that the last couple of years play out. But we aren't probably going to see super healthy teams throughout the playoffs because that's just the reality that we live in. So I think the Warriors, they have a guy who does come back and he does play phenomenally off his injury. And that's, again, another hypothetical, but it's one that I think happens. So I think that the Warriors do pose a good threat. Anytime you have a guy named Steph Curry on the court, it's a danger to your opponent. So I think that, realistically speaking, I think the Warriors do actually have the best chance to knock off the Lakers and make the push for the Western Conference Finals.
And I'll end it with this before we switch topics and start talking about some NFL. Nobody's giving the Lakers an issue. Lakers are going to walk through the West, and then they're going to walk to a championship. That's my prediction. Nah, that ain't happening either. They still don't have defense, but we'll save that for another time. I do love the Mavs too because when LeBron retires, Luka is going to be my guy. I'm calling it right now, putting the chips on the table. What did Max Kellerman say? With the fate of the universe, laser beam pointing down. So you want taking the last shot? Luka Doncic. That's going to be my guy when LeBron retires. I will follow Luka around to wherever team he's at next. But anyway, keeping conversation going. Did you guys happen to catch what Brian Kelly said at the end of the game? I thought that was hilarious.
Looks like our team needs to be executed. Look, I'm a Notre Dame fan, and I was all over that. Brian Kelly, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it. But like your joke, terrible execution on it, man.
Terrible execution.
Look, you just got to – Brian Kelly, if you were to put like all of the big head coaches in college football in a comedy central stand-up, Brian Kelly would be the last one that I would want to go see. Sorry, pal. Give me Lane Kiffin. Give me Nick Saban. I at least think his dry humor would be better than Kelly's, but I appreciate it. Didn't go over well on the internet.
No, it definitely didn't. Guys, so I have another question for you. This is totally off the whiff, guys, but that's what we do here at Game Changers. We literally change the conversation at the drop of a dime, whatever comes to mind. That's what we do here. Listen, but the question I have is, what college quarterback, right, impressed you the most? Which quarterback impressed you the least? I'm going to start with myself, actually. 2 college quarterbacks actually impressed me, and I'm kind of tied, so I don't know. I can't pick one out of these 2. Gabriel from UCF impressed me. Just that 20-point comeback was just something I just didn't expect. And Matt Corral absolutely impressed me. Sam Howell looked like trash. The fact that he didn't beat I'm just going to leave it at that. The fact that he wasn't able to beat Virginia Tech, and it seemed like the stage was set for him to actually, he's the quote unquote, being presumed to be the first overall pick in next year's draft, and he certainly didn't play like it. Malik Willis from Liberty looked really, really good, but I'm going to go with Alex. I know Alex is a big-time college guy. Alex, what quarterback impressed you the most? Which quarterback impressed you the least?
There were a lot of quarterbacks that both impressed and then, disappointed. Disappointed, first off, Sam Howell, because a lot of people had him as quarterback one. They were talking him up a lot. And Sam Howell just looked straight bad. I know he lost a lot. Sam Howell lost a lot off that team to the NFL draft. A lot of his weapons, a lot of things. And now he's he looked really bad. Now, can he get better? Of course, we don't know. Sam Howell might come back and light it up like he did last year, but it looked bad. Bryce Young isn't a draft-ready quarterback, but he looked awesome. Bryce Young looked amazing. Desmond Ridder, I've been saying, is quarterback 2 in this draft, but quarterback 1, he didn't get a chance to show as much as he could have because they just beat the hell out of Campbell. But Malik Willis, the best quarterback in this year's draft, for Liberty, absolutely, he's an absolute baller. Can run the ball, can throw it, maybe the strongest arm in the draft, maybe the most mobile in the draft. He has all the tools. Malik Willis impresses me every single week.
Alex, just out of curiosity, did Spencer Rattler do anything special for you? Because to me,
no, Spencer Rattler looked bad. Spencer Rattler disappointed. Spencer Rattler gets all this praise and all this hype because of the school he comes from. But to me, he looked below average. He looked like not a first round quarterback. He looked way worse than people are getting on him about last week, saying he looked disappointing. He looked even worse than the narrative is. If you watch that game, he looked like he couldn't throw the ball down the field. He just overall looked terrible.
Yeah, Dash, let's go with you.
I also like Ridder. I think I'm not a college football guy, so a lot of these are newer names to me. And Desmond Ridder was a guy who I was really impressed with. Just watching, I think his first throw of the game, he went 70 yards down the field. Pretty good stuff. But yeah, Howell was really disappointing. He was talked up a lot for me, and watching him play that game was just, really disappointing. Really did not like what I saw from him, and I do legitimately think that hurts his draft stock and pretty much removes his chances of getting the Heisman.
Yeah,
which seemed to be pretty high coming into the season.
Absolutely, you can't lose in that situation. Daniel Alameda, our guy.
I'm surprised Alex didn't say a guy, man. Matt Corral.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he went off. I had 2 words for you guys: calm and efficient. That's what I saw out of Matt Corral. I loved what I saw. I think he threw for 350 yards, no interceptions, no fumbles, a touchdown. Loved what I saw out of him. Disappointment, I want to say Sam Howell, but I'm also going to say a guy, I go to the same school as him, Jaden Daniels, right? And I'm not going to say disappointing as in, his draft stock's tanking, but against a Southern Utah team they were 45-point favorites against, he didn't show me anything special. Right now, Jaden Daniels is not a first-round quarterback, so I'm not going to say he's a terrible quarterback because he's not, but he did not impress me, so that's what I'm going to say.
You know who looked weird to me, guys? The quarterback from and we're not just talking about guys that are quote unquote draftable, but the quarterback from Clemson. He looked bad.
DJ Uiagalelei.
Yeah, you see, I wasn't gonna try to pronounce his name, but he looked trash to me.
Offensive line, their offensive line.
Yeah,
for me, that's a major issue too.
Yeah, I think Georgia really established themselves on both sides of the ball. But if we're talking, and I love DJ, I think he's going to be a phenomenal prospect. I just think he's got to take his bumps and bruises a little bit because when you come in with Clemson, the expectations are high, especially when you're coming in after Trevor Lawrence. So it's tough to meet those kinds of expectations. But my quarterback who absolutely balled out, I don't know if you guys are into the TikTok world, but Kentucky's quarterback, Will Levis, went absolutely viral for eating a banana with the peel. And I think I'm going to start eating a banana with the peel. Maybe that's the next bet I make. But the dude went off. Nearly 370 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 69% completion percentage. Now, UL Monroe is not a powerhouse by any means, but they are a respectable squad, and he dominated them. So I think I think Kentucky had a lot of questions about that quarterback room going into the season as Will Levis won the quarterback job. But man, did he look incredible. So I think I have a new diet. I think I'm going to start eating bananas in the morning. But quarterbacks that didn't look great, I feel like there were a lot of high expectations for Brock Purdy. Didn't really live up to them last year at Iowa State, and he looked bad. He looked bad today or on Saturday. Iowa State really kind of underperformed. Didn't get to score a lot of points. They were big favorites. I think I might be out on Brock Purdy. I was hopeful because he has all the physical tools, right? Like all the physical tools that you could want in a quarterback. Just hasn't been able to show it on the field. So hopefully they bounce back, but it'll be something to keep an eye on. I love college football, man. It's gorgeous.
I love college football. Aiden, what quarterback impressed you? What quarterback did you just look at and you said, you know what, this guy is all hype. Sort of like Alex. Alex's King of Mississippi title that he says he has. I'm joking. I'm kidding. But
well, it's actually funny you mentioned Alex because I'm going with the same picks as him, and I wanted to spice it up, but all the options were gone. And these are the two games that I paid most attention to, the UNC Virginia Tech game and the Alabama versus Miami game. The quarterback that disappointed me, Sam Howell, our guys already went over it. I remember even there was one pass late in the game, wide open tight end on a wheel route going down the sideline, overshoots him. I was like, bro, he was wide open. How can you do that? Howell looked bad. His draft stock went down after that first game. And I look at Bryce Young from Alabama. The expectations were high, sure, but that was a good Miami defense. I paid close attention to Alabama's offensive line, specifically Evan Neal. Neal was solid. Overall, the Alabama offensive line wasn't terrible, but, they were a little disappointing in that game. And Young still balled out. And again, Miami's defense is still solid. So Sam Howell was the quarterback that disappointed me, and Bryce Young was the quarterback that impressed me.
Yeah, Bryce Young, I mean, look, he's going to be a guy, $1 million man, right? Like the NIL stuff is very friendly towards him, and he's going to have a lot of success on the football field this season. Alabama just looked incredible. A team that didn't look great, Ohio State kind of stuttered against Minnesota. They covered the spread, but barely on that Thursday night game. So it'll be interesting. I think that's one of the biggest matchups in college football this week, Ohio State, Oregon. I know I will absolutely be glued to the TV to watch Kayvon Thibodeau against that offensive line.
If he plays, he actually hurt his ankle and he might not be playing. He left the game against Fresno State, and
he might have murdered that Fresno State quarterback.
Yeah, and their starting linebacker is out as well. So this seems to be like a very hard game for. And even if Kayvon Thibodeau's play, I don't expect him to have a game-changing presence because of his ankle injury, because he's certainly rushing it because it's a big game if he does come back. He left Saturday's game in a walking boot, so
gotcha.
There's that. But Aiden, take us away.
Yep, absolutely. So week 1 of the NFL season, we're all hyping it up, starting the show. Of course, we're all big football fans. And I want to start with Thursday Night Football, tomorrow's game. And I'm going to start with Cody. Cowboys at Buccaneers. Who you got tomorrow?
Look, Cowboys are 8.5-point underdogs against the reigning champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time I looked, and it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure Tom Brady is still quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think he's still pretty good at football. That Cowboys defense stinks. So give me the Bucs. I think they win by quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Alex, do you agree with Cody, or are you seeing maybe a closer game, or even the Cowboys upsetting the Buccaneers?
The Buccaneers win, but they don't run away with it. It's a one-possession game throughout the entire thing. I think it's locked in. It's locked up from start to end. Let's not forget that Cowboys team looked really good with Dak Prescott, or at least better. That offense looked insane. The Cowboys defense is really bad, but I look for it to be at least improved from last year. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. First game of the year, games always they act kind of weird and funky. So I look for it to be close and fun, but give me the Bucs in a close game.
All right, Malik, I know you're a big Cowboys fan, so I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this game.
Well, let's start something off. I am in no way, shape, or form any of that a Cowboys fan, but I feel like not a lot of people are talking about the Bucs defense, how they was able to return all their starters. I think that Dak Prescott is in for a long night, especially with Zach Martin out, Vita Vea, and Ndamukong Suh. I always struggle pronouncing his name, but Ndamukong Suh, I think those guys are prone to have a big game. I think in order for the Cowboys to win this one, they're going to have to rely heavily, or at least I would advise them to rely heavily on the running game, or at least attempt to. But it's going to be a tough one. But in terms of who I'm picking, you know I'm picking Tom Brady. I'm picking that guy. So that's my pick.
All right, beautiful. We're going to move on to Dash now because, all right, 3 Buccaneers picks. Are you going to take the Cowboys? Is anybody going to take the Cowboys in this one?
Nope. Bucs are going to win. Everybody else pretty much said what needed to be said. I really don't think it's going to be that close. I think the Bucs are going to walk away with this one.
Well, Daniel, you're the last one remaining. You've got red on. Tom Brady's our quarterback, or he was at least our quarterback. So
let him go. You guys are like a bad, in a bad relationship where you won't let your ex go. They moved on.
You're a LeBron fan.
I respect Tom Brady. No. Dan, we know what's up.
Yeah, just let him go. Let him go. He's on another team now. He's moved on.
All right, then let LeBron go.
Absolutely not, because it's either one of
LeBron go.
It's either you follow them. It's either you follow them to their new shiny job.
Yeah, but you said.
Or you let him go, and you guess what? You put a ring on. You're now engaged to Mac Jones.
But you're doing both. You said you're a Celtics fan and a Lakers fan. You can't
listen. One's in the West. Right. One's in the. Like, I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah, one's in the AFC.
One's in the NFC. One's in the AFC.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Wow. Okay.
I'm committed to LeBron. I'm committed to LeBron.
Double standards.
I'm no conversation. Buccaneers are winning this game. Cody said earlier when we were off air, the line was 6.5. It's slowly moving to 7.5 now. It's going to move to 8.5. Buccaneers all the way. I love the Cowboys offense, but their defensive line is one of the worst in the league. Give me the Bucs.
All right, so we're going to move on to our next game. This one, bit of a crapshoot. I'm, by the way, taking the Buccaneers Thursday Night Football tomorrow. You guys summed it up perfectly. But Jaguars at Texans. This one, as I said, it's going to be a bit of a crapshoot. But I'm interested to hear where you guys are at because I think this is actually going to be a split choices here. Alex, we'll let you start.
I'm sorry, my video cut out. What's the game?
Jaguars at Texans.
Oh, Jaguars at Texans. I'm taking the Jaguars, but not because the Jaguars are good. It's just because the Texans are absolutely awful. I do not think that this Trevor Lawrence-led Jaguars team is going to shock everyone by any means, but they're going to do enough to beat the Texans by a lot. So give me the Jaguars. Give me the points. I will take the Jaguars as the favorite.
Now, Malik, it seemed like maybe you disagree with this one, so I want to hear what you have to say because it looks like I know it's a crapshoot, but you might disagree with this.
For this pick, you have to subscribe to the TWSN Patreon for me to give my pick on that one because that is one of those games.
All right, Dash, what about you?
I think it's a trap game. I think the Texans actually could come away and squeak by with the win. I think Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer are super inexperienced, and while David Coley isn't a proven head coach, I do think there's guys. I do think that there's guys for the Texans who can come in and still play a high level of football and win a football game against a not spectacular Jags team.
I actually agree. I'm taking the Texans in this game as well. For some of the reasons that you mentioned, Urban Meyer's is inexperienced. I don't trust him. Trevor Lawrence should have a good game because this Texans defense is just bad. But it is his first game in the NFL. The O-line's not great. The coaching staff's not great. I see the Texans winning this game, but Daniel, what about you? Because you never know what Daniel's got to say about a game, especially when it's two of the worst teams in football. So I need to hear what you have to say.
This is a game I'm staying away from because I'm not a fan of either of these teams. But I'm going to go with the most talented team, and it's the Jaguars by far. More talent on offense side of the ball, more talent on defense side of the ball. You got guys like C.J. Henderson, Caleb Chase, on Miles Jack. I'm going with the talent here, riding with Trevor Lawrence and taking the Jaguars.
Cody, what about you?
I'm going to go with the Ty God. I think Tyrod Taylor is an incredibly disrespected quarterback in the NFL, quite frankly. The guy can win football games. Now, is he a dominant force? By no means. But can he do enough to keep this game close with the Jags? I absolutely think he can. So this is a game that kind of reminds me of the Jaguars games last year where they were undoubtedly like the underdog in every game that they were in. The Texans are the same way. They are underdogs in every single game that they play this year. I'm a big fan of home dogs. So if you're going to give me a home underdog against a Jaguars team with a rookie quarterback, I'm going to take the Texans.
And Cody, to your point, the only thing I'll add about this game is I think something should be said about a team, like when you're game planning, who is the marquee player of that team that you have to watch out for, right? There's something special about that when you look at the Texans roster and you're like, well, who is their number one receiver? Who is their number two receiver? Who is the X factor on their game plan, right? If you're looking at it from a coach's perspective, the first thing coaches try to do is they try to break it down by your strongest position groups. And the idea is they try to take that strong player out of the game plan. Well, with the Texans, you don't know who could take over the game. It could be Ryan Griffin for all we know. It could be Philip Lindsay. It could be David Johnson. You don't know who Tyrod Taylor is going to target. Tyrod Taylor could also beat you with his legs. So that game's interesting.
Right. They have a deep committee, not only in the running backs, but Tyrod Taylor can take off with the football as well. And Brandon Cooks, he's their number one wide receiver, presumptively. And I feel like he's going to be able to have a good game no matter who's on him. But we're going to move on. Chargers at football team. This is going to be one of the better games of the week. Daniel, we'll let you start.
I'm really curious to see how Justin Herbert looks, right? But the way I'm looking at this game is I think Washington wins this game. Washington is at home. They have the dominant defensive line, and they're going up against a rookie head coach with new coordinators on both the offensive and defense side of the ball. I'm going with Washington, right? I think Ryan Fitzpatrick, week one, you got weapons on that team. I just think that I love the Chargers team this year. I think they might make the playoffs this year. But week one, give me that defensive line and give me the more veteran head coach, Ron Rivera, at home.
Cody, I see you nodding your head a little bit. So does that mean you agree with Daniel here, or is there any disagreement?
Look, I am going to disagree for a couple reasons, but I'm going to have to put this pick on the Patreon. So each team are even money on the money line. They're both minus 108, right? So there's a lot of value that can be had in this game. Both of these rosters are good. Both of these rosters have made significant improvements this offseason. This one, I'm going to leave for the Patreon because this is one of my favorite bets of the weekend.
All right, that sounds good to me. Again, subscribe to our Patreon. Our guys have been killing their picks, as we mentioned at the top of the show. But Dash, what do you think about this game?
He's dealing with a little bit of technical difficulty.
Yeah. Malik, we'll let you go then.
All right, I'm actually going to pick on this one, and I'm going to tell you right now. It's in Washington. They're going up against the most dominant defense. Yeah, I said it. The most dominant defense this upcoming year of the NFL season. I'm taking Washington. I'm taking them boys. I think Chase Young is going to absolutely feast on that Chargers offensive line, and I think they can keep the game close enough to where Ryan Fitzmagic can win in the game. Not to mention, I love special teams units in a low-scoring defensive game. Guess what? The Washington football team has one of the best special teams units. I love their punter. I love the way he's able to flip field position. I think Justin Herbert's going to really struggle this game. I really do.
Why do you think he's going to struggle in this game?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The defensive line. I mean, they have 5 first-round picks up front. You know, it's going to be a hard day for him. They still don't have a good offensive line. I'm not even sure. Is there offensive offensive tackle who they drafted playing?
I believe Slater's questionable, and I saw Corey Linsley was questionable as well.
Okay, I keep confusing Slater with the guy from over in Minnesota every now and again. But no, I think Washington feasts in this game, and it's not a thing of Justin Herbert regrets, and I know that will be the storyline coming out of Sunday's game, but it's not that at all. It's the fact that he won't have time to absolutely complete a pass or even get things going. I just think that Washington football team is extremely hard to play against, not to mention that turf. The biggest thing for me is I pray that there's no injuries coming out of that game because for some reason people always seem to get hurt on Washington football's field. So,
Alex, what do you think?
I agree with Malik and Daniel on this, and I like the Chargers. I like their team. Like Daniel said, I definitely think they have a chance at a wild card. But with that being said, this is early in the season for a brand new coaching staff, and that is why I'm taking the Washington football team. It's at home. They have one of, if not the best defenses in the NFL. So, and I like Ryan Fitzpatrick a lot more than a lot of these guys on this panel. So give me the Washington football team and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I'm actually going to agree with the majority here. Dash, you want to jump in? No, it looks like Dash.
I was going to say, as a fellow. Oh, am I good? I think I'm good for a bit. Fitzpatrick is my guy. So shout out Alex.
All right, so
I got the football team. I think.
Yep. All right, I'm going to go with the football team as well. Sorry, Cody. I know you wanted somebody. Maybe you like to go against the majority. I don't know. I'm not Cody, but
You have to
I
subscribe
picked
to
the
see.
football team in this game. It's going to be a close game. Listen, but the football team has home field advantage. I actually agree with Malik. I think this D-line's going to give Justin Herbert a little bit of trouble, just considering their O-line is brand new. They're banged up a little bit with Slater being questionable. I like the football team in this one slightly. I think it's going to be a close game. But we're going to move on to Seahawks at Colts, and I'm going to let Malik start with this one because he hasn't started yet.
For this pick, you have to subscribe. No, I'm not going to do that to you guys for the whole show. I got the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seattle Seahawks are the better team right now. I think that they've had more time to play with one another too, and I just think that Colts offense is going to struggle keeping up with that Seattle Seahawks offense because the fact that Carson Wentz has been out, whether it be on the COVID list, whether it be dealing with foot surgery, whether it be because his wide receiver in T.Y. Hilton is dealing with neck injuries, and he's going to be on the IR for about 6 games or so. Give me the Seattle Seahawks to start this season off. And the Seattle Seahawks always seem to start the season off strong. They tend to fade off towards the end of the season. But maybe if this was like week 4, I would say the Colts, but not right now. Not the first game. I envision Carson Wentz might look a little shaky, might look like his old Carson Wentz for the first game.
Alex, I know some people are very high on Carson Wentz, even right out of the gate, if he even plays. But I'm interested to hear who you have to take in this game. I know Malik's going with the Seahawks. I know I'm going with the Seahawks. But I want to see if anybody's going to take the Colts here.
With Carson Wentz behind center, the Colts will beat the Seahawks in week 1. They just have all the pieces. Look, that Seattle Seahawks defensive line is not good, and the Colts have one of the best offensive lines in football. They're going to dominate on the trenches right there. The Colts have a great offensive line. They're going to dominate the trenches.
Isn't Quentin Nelson out?
He's back.
He's back.
Yeah, I believe.
I thought he was out still.
I believe Quentin Nelson's playing. But, I mean, they got a unit.
More of a game time decision, but yeah.
They got a unit regardless, and I think that the Colts will absolutely dominate the trenches really on both sides of the football. So, and normally the team with the trenches is the team that wins, not to mention I think Carson Wentz takes a huge step this year. I think he absolutely balls out, and give me the Colts with a good defense as well. I didn't even mention the rest of their defense. The Colts are going to beat the Seahawks week 1.
All right, Cody, who you got?
Look, I think it might be criminal to say this living in the state of Indiana, but I am going to take the Seahawks. I don't think that the Colts are in a position right now to do their absolute best. And I think the best Colts football is going to be seen in about a month. But with T.Y. Hilton starting the season on IR, Paris Campbell leaving practice today with an Achilles injury, you're losing 2 weapons in an already depleted offense, and it hurts. Eric Fisher isn't back yet. Their left tackle that they signed from Kansas City, Quentin Nelson, game time decision. If he plays, great. If he's not, that left side of that line is going to struggle. And when you look at what Carson Wentz struggled with last year, it wasn't when he had a clean pocket. It was when he was under pressure. I trust Seattle enough to figure that out, and I think they take it.
Not to mention Xavier Rhodes might be out as well with an injury.
Yep.
So I'm interested to hear, Daniel, what do you have to say? Because Alex thinks Carson Wentz is going to be, if he's healthy, will be back. But everybody else is taking the Seahawks so far.
Yeah, this is another one of the games that I'm kind of staying away from. I think it could go either way. But like I said, I'm rolling with the quarterback, the better quarterback here. Carson Wentz hasn't played. He barely got back from injury. Quentin Nelson's barely getting back. As Cody said, Paris Campbell, Xavier Rhodes. It seems like this Colts team doesn't really have it all together right now. I'm going with the team that's been together for the past couple seasons. I'm going with the Seahawks in this game. I'm going to stay away from it betting-wise, but I'll take the Seahawks here.
Dash, real quickly, do you have any disagreements here?
No, I think the Seahawks take it. They seem to always start the season off hot. They're just a good early season team, and week 1 against an injured team in the Colts, I like Seattle for sure.
Yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks as well here. Colts have dealt with a ton of just injuries and COVID stuff throughout the whole offseason. I don't even know if Carson Wentz plays, and if he does, I could see him struggling a little bit. Plus, I think the Seahawks offense is absolutely going to roll right out of bed and have a really good week 1. They always start the season off hot, even against a tough Colts defense. But we're going to move on here to Jets at Panthers. This is the redemption game for Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson. Malik, you look a little excited there. You want to hop in first?
Woo! Yeah, I'm going to give my pick for this one. And if you really want it, you got to go to the TWSN Patreon to see my pick. It's like, nah, I'm going with the Panthers. Sam Darnold is absolutely going to wreck the Jets. The Jets do not have a good secondary. People tend to think Robert Saleh is a world beater. Let's not forget, before they drafted Nick Bosa, Robert Saleh was about to get fired. He was on his way out. He isn't some just great defensive guru that people are making him out to be. For instance, I'm just being honest. You can look good when you have a bunch of first-round picks up front like he did have. He had Fred Warner. He had a very good defense. What I'm saying is, this is no knock against Robert Saleh, but he is just starting his head coaching career. When I look at the Panthers offense and Joe Brady, I don't think that the Panthers will have enough answers for the questions that the Jets won't have enough answers for the questions that the Carolina Panthers offense is going to propose. Whether that be Christian McCaffrey coming out of the backfield, running the ball, Chuba Hubbard, relieving him in duties like that. And I love Robbie Anderson, love DJ Moore, love Terrace Marshall. I'm excited for this Panthers football team. I think that Joe Brady is going to – I think we're going to see the Sam Darnold that we've all been waiting to see, that unfortunately we didn't get to see in New York because he didn't have the pieces or the coaching staff around him to actually unlock that. We saw glimpses in games. But my prediction is Sam Darnold may have a really, really good year. That's just what I got to say.
All right, Dash. Well, Malik is very high on Sam Darnold, and I actually think he could have a bounce-back year with all these weapons in a Joe Brady offense. But I want to hear what you have to think about this Week 1 matchup.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Malik here. I think that it's Panthers for sure. The Jets, we got to keep in mind it's not just Robert Saleh that's new there. It is their first-year quarterback. It's their first-year quarterback's coach. They have just a whole lot of new there. And I think that the Carolina Panthers are a good enough team to take advantage of a team that, in my opinion, will be slightly disorganized Week 1. I don't think the Jets are going to come in and look like a well-oiled machine. I think it's going to be slightly messy for them. And the Carolina Panthers are going to come in and win by, I would say, at least 2 scores.
Not to mention, they don't have anybody to execute the pressure. And if we're talking from a defensive perspective, I love the Panthers' defensive line going against that Jets front. And apparently, Mekhi Becton has not looked good all offseason. But, again, we'll see.
Daniel, you are one of our NFL draft guys here, so you've seen as much Zach Wilson as the rest of them. And you're also a Patriots fan, such as myself. So you've seen plenty of years of Sam Darnold as well. So you're tapped in on this matchup. Who you got?
I have a huge bet for this game. I'm not going to give away the bet, but straight up, I'm taking the Panthers. I'm sorry. I love Zach Wilson. I love what he showed me in the preseason. Yeah. But I'm going with Matt Rule. He's been there a couple years. This is his second year, I believe. Yeah. He's going on his second year. I just love the defense, man. They got a lot of talent out of J.C. Horn, Dante Jackson, the cornerback. Brian Burns, one of the most underrated edge rushers. Love the talent on this defense. Love the talent on the offense, too. Just don't trust this Jets team Week 1, but I have a big-time bet, and you can see it on the Patreon.
Yeah, and you forgot to mention Jeremy Chin. They got that boy Jeremy Chin. That defense, listen, Zach Wilson will have moments this game. Him and Corey Davis, I love the rapport that they've built, but it ain't enough.
I do think it is enough to make it fun. And this is one of while Daniel's bet is going to be locked behind that TWSN, this is one bet that I'm going to give you guys because I am incredibly confident in it. And it's honestly, I like betting bets that are fun. And this is going to be a fun game to watch. I am taking the over 44.5. I think that there are going to be a ton of points scored in this game. I think turnovers are going to happen. I think you're going to see big plays. I think you're going to see defensive breakdowns. Both of these defenses are young. Both of these defenses don't have a ton of experience. Both of these quarterbacks are risk takers and gunslingers by definition. I think there are going to be a ton of points scored. That being said, the Panthers are the better team, right? They're more established. They are 2 years further along in that system under Matt Rule than what the Jets are under Robert Saleh. So I think that they win, but I think it's going to be a shootout. I think this is going to be a very fun game to watch.
Alex, round us off here.
Yeah. Everyone knows I'm a huge believer in Sam Darnold. I think he's going to finally prove what I've seen in him this year. I think this is just the start of it. Panthers, I think they take it. I think they win convincingly, kind of. Like, I like Zach Wilson, too. I love him, but The Panthers just have a complete team all around. So give me the Panthers and Sam Darnold.
I have no disagreements here. Sam Darnold's revenge game. He's got Joe Brady. He's in Joe Brady's offense. Plenty of receivers to throw to against the poor secondary. And frankly, I just don't think the Jets, with Carl Lawson going down with injury and whatnot, I just don't think their front seven is good enough to kind of take advantage of the Panthers' weak offensive line. But Cody, I want to start things off with you for this next game because I know you're a Bengals fan and the Vikings are in town. This is a game that some people are debating on, so I want to hear your thoughts on this matchup.
Okay, so I know that you have to look at this game, right, from an impartial standpoint, right? So I'm going to put my NFL, like the NFL hat on. Like, I'm a fan of the sport, but I'm taking the Bengals here. And there are some very specific reasons why. I am not a believer in that Vikings offensive line. I think they got worse over this offseason. I know they drafted Darisaw. That being said, I have concerns for that offensive line. What more than I have concerns for the offensive line is I have concerns for the secondary, right? They brought in Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson did not look like himself last year. I think that there are going to be a lot of problems, especially with underneath throws and how Joe Burrow can pick apart that defense. I think Tyler Boyd has a great game. Additionally, the Vikings pass rush does not scare me. Danielle Hunter is good. Danielle Hunter is a very, very good pass rusher, but I don't think they're going to get enough out of Anthony Barr or Everson Griffin on that other side in order to really make the Bengals feel it. And that's what you need to do to beat the Bengals. You have to get to the quarterback. It's why they lost as many games as they did last year. It's because under pressure, that offense tended to crumble. So I think that the Bengals have a good opportunity on both sides of the ball to really establish themselves. And I think a lot of the guys that the Bengals brought in are going to be key playmakers. Awuzie is going to be a key playmaker in this game, guarding Justin Jefferson or Adam Thielen. I think Logan Wilson has a chance to have himself a big game, an absolute stud in his second year. So we'll see. It'll be really exciting, but I'm going to take Bengals and plus 3.5. I mean, give me that. Give me the underdogs. At home, dogs at home. That's the theme of the weekend. Dogs at home.
Malik, you're our other Bengals fan. I know you are pumped up to get your thoughts in on. You can literally see him. He's got a football. All right.
I know. Listen, I know Daniel disagrees. I want to let Daniel go first. I know Daniel disagrees.
Yeah, man. Listen, I love you guys, Bengals. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Joe Burrow. Huge fan of this team this year, but y'all are disrespecting the Vikings, man. Okay, Danielle Hunter is going, and let's talk about their front four, right? Danielle Hunter is a top 5 edge rusher in the league. He has absolutely dominated in all of training camp. He is going to, I know you're going to say Jonah Williams. I know you're going to say Riley Reif. That's cool. Danielle Hunter is going to get hits. I can guarantee you that. And then you throw in a Michael Pierce. You throw in Michael Pierce and Dalvin Tomlinson in the middle. It's going to be a tough day for Joe Mixon. They're not going to have an easy day running the ball because of that front four. And I'm just, like I said, I don't know if the Bengals defense is going to be able to stop Dalvin Cook in the running game. I don't. And you guys are going to point to their offensive line and say they lost Riley Reif. Dalvin Cook has another year of tread. I like their offensive line. I don't think it's terrible. You still have Brian O'Neill, who they just re-signed today. You're going to point at, 6th-round pick Oli Udoh, or however you say his name. He's looked great in camp. So I think that this Vikings team makes it a close game. I think it's a fairly close game, but I think you guys are disrespecting that defensive line and the run game of the Vikings. So give me the Vikings here.
Malik, I know you disagree, and I want to hear what you have to say, Daniel, and everybody else picking the Vikings out there.
I like it. I'd want it no other way. So I was just telling people that they should tune in right now because I'm about to give my pick for this game. Listen, the Vikings have a lot of questions on their offensive line, right? Their offensive line is going to struggle in this game. It hasn't gotten any better. Yeah, you made some great points. You made some awesome points. But their right tackle, who has been a staple for that offensive line for years, Riley Reif. Where is he now? Oh, he's in Cincinnati. Well, Riley Reif Who does he go up against in practice for over 6+ years? Does anybody know? 5+ years, actually. Anybody know? Does anybody want to take a guess? Huh? Who?
Daniel Hunter.
A top
Oh,
5
Daniel
defensive end in the league, yes.
Yeah. So he went up against
Absolutely wrong. He's not even
by the
top
way.
5 in the NFC.
By the way,
Stop.
so you're talking about. Wait, hold on. So we're talking about Daniel Hunter, who didn't also play last season. Let's keep that in mind too. Let's also keep that in mind. Who's coming off of an injury? He's going up against Riley Reif, who he played up against for years and years and years of practice. You don't think Riley Reif picked up on him? You don't think they made each other better? You think that Riley Reif is actually that Daniel Hunter's just going to go out there and just dominate Riley Reif? Is that what you think? They're going to cancel one another out. That's what I truly think. No, they're going to cancel one another.
No,
out.
they're not.
Yeah, I can cancel one. I'll make your prediction right now, Daniel. Right, and if I'm wrong, you guys hear it right now on the show. If I'm wrong, Daniel, I'll buy you lunch. I will literally send you money to buy you lunch. Riley, I guarantee you, Daniel Hunter doesn't get a sack on Joe Burrow.
I guarantee he does.
Okay, you want to shake on it? That?
Yeah.
Okay, be air shake. Right, Daniel Hunter will not get a sack on Joe Burrow come Sunday because listen, you could defend against edge rushers. You could chip them at the line with tight ends and running backs and do all that kind of stuff. Joe Burrow has one of the quickest releases in the NFL. So if Daniel Hunter wants to make an impact somewhere, he's going to have to make an impact in the running game. To your point, you said, well, they have a great front four. No, I think they have a great front three, right? Who's the other defensive end? Oh, it's Everson Griffin, who's been on through 2 different teams in the last few months. Well, guess what? You answered your own question. Who is Everson Griffin going up against on Sunday? He's going up against Jonah Williams. He's going to get canceled out. If I'm the Bengals, I'm running Joe Mixon behind Jonah Williams and Quentin Spain all day. No problem. Outside zone schemes, halfback tosses. That's what I'm doing. No problem. I'm staying away from Daniel Hunter. You can cancel. You can literally eliminate. And if they want to do the whole switcheroonie, fine. Go have Joe Mixon run behind Riley Reif. We can do that all day. Everson Griffin is not a factor. This is no longer 2012. This is not 2012 Everson Griffin anymore, right? We're in 2020. He even got cut. The guy got cut. They said we think that highly of you that we're going to cut you. Joe Mixon is going to have over 100 yards rushing.
I guarantee he doesn't. I guarantee he doesn't. That defensive line, hold on. That defensive line is going to give you guys more fits than you're saying.
In the running game. In the passing game, let's talk about it. They added 2 run stuffers, and Dalvin Tomlinson and what's his face? Michael Pierce. We played Michael Pierce every single year with the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, they're going to give us issues in the running game, but what did I just say? I might be giving out the Bengals quote-unquote game plan, but I firmly believe the Bengals are going to attack them with outside zone runs on the weak side of the defensive line. That's what they're going to do. Let's keep it going, though. Since you want to talk about the Vikings, right? The Vikings, their first-round pick, like you said, is not playing in this game. Trey Hendrickson, last time Trey Hendrickson played the Vikings last year, I'm pretty sure he had like a couple of sacks, right? He's going to do that again on Sunday. No problem at all. To your point, stopping the run, that is going to be the Bengals' game this season. That's why they added guys like Larry Ogunjobi, guys like the highest-paid nose tackle in football, DJ Reader. Not to mention our linebacking core and Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt and Akeem Davis Gaither. Yeah, we want Kirk Cousins to throw to his tight ends. What happened to Kirk Cousins' tight end? Isn't he out for like the season?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Irv Smith out for the season.
I'm excited. Listen. At the end of the day, we know what their game plan is going to be. Run the ball down our throat. When the running game gets going, they're going to play action and try to take a deep shot. Well, guess what? We have the best safety in the league, free safety in the league, and Jesse Bates. I am here for that. But another thing we aren't talking about is Anthony Barr playing. Anthony Barr hasn't practiced since August 5th. The Vikings secondary, who's going to cover T. Higgins? Who's going to cover Tyler Boyd? Who's going to cover Jamar Chase? Listen, at the end of the day, Bengals. And it ain't going to be as close as people think it is. And if it is, Hail Mary, you better hope the Bengals don't have the ball to end the game because we have a kicker. We have a kicker on that sideline that we drafted pretty early. We have Evan McPherson. And if Evan McPherson has to drain a 50-yarder, no problem. No problem at all. Listen, the game won't be as close as people think, but listen, appreciate the Vikings for showing up. Bengals are going to win this game.
Dash, do you feel as strongly about this game as Malik does?
I would not say I feel as strongly, no, but I do think the Bengals are going to win. I think that Daniel is completely overselling Daniel Hunter. I don't even believe him to be a top 5 pass rusher in the NFC. You got guys like Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack, Chase Young, Chandler Jones, Shaq Barrett. There's more guys. I can keep going. Look, the Vikings to me, they're not impressive. I have a bet going with Mr. Daniel that the Vikings are not going to win more than 8.5 games. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, this Vikings team doesn't impress me. The Bengals are a better team than last year, and I think that they're going to come away with the dub.
So I'm just going to tell you one thing. Danielle Hunter played in, I believe, 2 games last year. He had 2.5 sacks in those 2 games. His past 2 seasons that he played, he had 14.5 sacks in either both of those seasons. 14.5 sacks. That is a top 5 edge rusher, and he has absolutely dominated in all of training camp. So, like I said, hey, 1 sack, Malik. You're telling me he's not going to get 1 sack? I guarantee you he does, and you're going to be behind me.
First of all,
you're going to be behind me.
Bengals have an offensive line coach. Do you think they're going to say, you know what, we're going to sit back there and let Danielle Hunter just tee off?
No one ever says that.
So why
he's going to get
think-
his, though.
He's not. He's
yes,
not.
he
Because
yes, he is.
Okay. They're going to literally tailor the game plan to where this guy won't even sniff Joe Burrow. And then you're talking about – You're also discounting the fact that the right tackle, literally, what's his tag team partner? They made each other better for years. He's not going to run over Riley Reef. You're making it seem like we have Bobby Hart. Riley Reef is the number 14th overall rated tackle in football, right?
Yeah, number 14th overall tackle. Danielle Hunter is a top 5 edge rusher.
Because Daniel Alameda says
no, he's not.
Daniel Alameda says that.
Okay, so give me 5 edge rushers that are better than him.
Okay, no problem. Khalil Mack.
I gave you like 6 in the NFC.
I'll keep going. Khalil Mack, TJ Watt, JJ Watt, Chandler Jones.
JJ Watt is not better than him right now. Stop it.
Give me.
Stop
Bosa.
it.
Both the Bosas are better than him. Both the Bosas are better than him.
You don't know what you're talking about. No way.
Both of the Bosas are better than him.
JJ Watt, and Nick Bosa.
Okay, let's take JJ Watt out of it. Let's still name 6 that are better than him.
Nick Bosa is not better than Danielle Hunter.
Miles Garrett.
Nick Bosa is not better than Danielle Hunter.
Nick Bosa is not better than Danielle Hunter.
No, he is not.
No,
he is not.
You're a fool.
You are.
You literally hold on. You answered your own question. You answered your own question. You said,
guys, just so you guys know, this is Daniel and ours relationship. We literally go at one another. This is not us beefing at all. You
literally said the 49ers have first round picks all over that defense. Mm-hmm. That's what makes Nick Bosa better. I guarantee Danielle Hunter has dominated with what defensive line? With what defensive line? Right? Danielle Hunter, I guarantee you, like I said, hey, we'll see on Sunday. He's going to get his sack, and I'm going to be right. You're going to be wrong.
Listen, if he doesn't get a sack, Daniel, I'm coming for my sandwich or whatever I want. I love Mexican food. You know I literally love shrimp tacos. Just know, turn me up. I'm here for it. Remember
Let's see
saying this to you.
Let's see it, brother.
Listen, at the end of the day, Bengals. It doesn't matter if Danielle Hunter gets a sack or not. The Bengals are winning. That's it.
Alex, I know you're eager to hop in. Our guys just got into a debate. I expected it. I knew that if anybody's going to pick against the Vikings, especially Daniel, Malik, Cody, they were going to get on whoever picked the Vikings. So, Alex, are you going to side with Daniel or are you going to go with the Bengals?
Here's the thing. When people are picking against the Bengals, the first thing they love to talk about is the Bengals offensive line, as if the Vikings offensive line isn't worse. The Bengals have a better offensive line than the Vikings, and if that's the only thing you can throw a stone at, if that's the only thing you can throw a stone at on the Bengals, and it's better than the Vikings.
I
don't understand why everyone's picking the Vikings and then saying it's because the Bengals can't block as if the Vikings can. Give me the Bengals, definitely. The Vikings are extremely overrated. They have Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. After that,
Daniel,
they have nothing the Bengals
Adam Thielen? Adam Thielen?
They have nothing the Bengals can't do.
Wait, Alex. Adam Thielen we're talking
Adam
about.
Thielen is nothing that the Bengals aren't going to see in every other game. Adam Thielen isn't some game breaker. Sure, he's a good
game breakers. The game breakers aren't what's needed. You don't need a game breaker. Right?
You don't need a game breaker. You need a game changer. That's what you feel me? And that's what Riley Reef is for the Bengals offensive line. Turn me up. That's why Danielle Hunter won't get a sack. Turn me up. We here for it.
Man. You're wrong.
You're wrong. And Daniel, don't go quiet. Don't go quiet.
I won't. I won't. I'll be on Twitter. I'm here for the smoke. I'm here for the smoke.
I'm gonna be in your DMs, baby. That's what I'm like. I'm being in your DMs.
Next week, hey, everyone who's watching this next week on Wednesday, just wait for after this week. I can guarantee you it's going to be a fire show.
This is how you know NFL football season is back. Because we're pumped, we're jazzed up. Let's go. I'm ready for it. I'm making all the bets. I want all the money. Let's go, Daniel.
Let's see.
Well, I'm excited to come back in a week from now and see who won. Personally, this was one of the tougher games for me to predict. I was pretty 50-50 split, but I ended up going with the Cincinnati Bengals here.
Who dat?
Me and Malik already talked about this, and you guys had a big debate about it. So we're going to move on to the next game. And Daniel, you're already fired up. You've got the red on. and you actually covered the Cardinals a little bit last season. So I'm going to have you give your thoughts first here. Cardinals at Titans, who you got?
Yeah, first off, I have another big bet. Me and Cody, I think, disagree on this a little bit. I have a big bet for this. It's going to be on the Patreon. I'm sorry, guys. It's going to be on the Patreon. But listen, the Cardinals' defense is being underrated. That's the biggest thing I have to say. Last year, they were number 12 total, right? And that was with a terrible secondary. That was with no Chandler Jones, no J.J. Watt, no Zaven Collins, right? Vance Joseph is a great defense coordinator. So now you add Chandler Jones to the mix. Now you add J.J. Watt. Now you add a couple rookies, Marco Wilson, Tay Gowan, some of these cornerbacks. Now you add Zaven Collins, another year of Isaiah Simmons. I think this defense is way better than people are making it out to be, and I think they're actually a better unit than the offense. It's surprising because people are going to say Kyler Murray. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals here. I think the Cardinals go into go into Tennessee, win the game because Ryan Tannehill hasn't practiced. He practiced for the first time in 2 to 3 weeks 4 days ago. Right, Julio Jones has been on and off. I don't know about that defense. Could be one of the worst defenses in the league. So I understand you got Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, but I think they're being overrated right now.
Cody, I know you have the Titans scoring a lot of points this week, but I'm interested to hear if you think they'll actually win because the Cardinals are going to put up points too. So who do you got this week?
Wait, guys, before we give it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the TWSN YouTube channel. We got a boatload of you guys in here right now. We are literally less than 20 subscribers away from 1,000. Subscribe to the TWSN YouTube channel. If you like this energy, if you like this smoke that we bring each and every single Wednesday night, what would you rather be doing Wednesday nights? I can tell you I'd rather be in no other place. Make sure you subscribe to the TWSN YouTube channel. We got fire shows every single day of the week for every single sport. Continue.
Bro, here's what I'm saying. There is no Wednesday night football. All right, you got no excuse. You got no excuse. Hit the subscribe and
yes,
tune
sir.
in. But all right, here's my analysis. It's going to be real simple. Ryan Tannehill, dog. AJ Brown, dog. Julio Jones, dog. Derrick Henry, dog. Dogs eat, right?
Yeah.
Give me the Titans. But more seriously, I do think they improved on that defense a little bit. And while the Cardinals are an improved team, this game's going to be close. And I trust Vrabel more than I trust Cliff Kingsbury. So give me the Titans in a close game, in a pretty high scoring game. Over at 50. Over is set at 52.5. It's the second highest total of the week, so it should be an electric game to watch. But give me the Titans.
For sure.
Alex, what are you thinking here?
I'm going with the Cardinals because I'm a huge believer in Kyler Murray and just the Cardinals overall. I do like the Titans as a football team, but their defense is not good enough, I don't think, to win this game. I'm a huge fan of the Cardinals this year. I think they have put a lot of pieces together to really make some waves, so give me the Cardinals.
Dash, what about you?
I got the Cardinals too. I think every team in the NFC West can make the playoffs. I think that this is just a loaded division, and the Titans are not impressive to me. I don't love their team. I don't really think that their defense got better, like Cody had said. But, I mean, look, the Cardinals are good. This is a good team. The Titans are all right. I like the Cardinals. I do think this is going to be a high-scoring game, a lot of offense, a lot of Kyler Murray, and I think that's going to be the difference.
Malik, I know you're still jazzed up. I know this is a close game. Who you got?
This game is tough, man. This game is tough, man. I'm just going to say this. Listen, at the end of the day, I think both teams can cancel one another out. I don't think that the Cardinals can stop Derrick Henry. Don't let anybody up here tell you that they can. They cannot stop Derrick Henry. They can't. Like, there's not too many defenses in the NFL that can, right? He's gonna rush for a buck. It's all about if you can minimize the damage that he's going to do to your football team. With that being said, who do the Cardinals have to cover Julio Jones? Who do the Cardinals have to cover A.J. Brown? Nobody. So at the end of the day, they're relying heavily on their pass rushers to get there. With that Cardinals offensive line, they can get there. It's in Tennessee. This game is tough. It's really, really tough. But if I really got to say with like chips on the table, I got to go with the Arizona Cardinals. I think they're the better football team, all around in terms of from a defensive line perspective. I think that defensive line can get one or two more stops than I think the Tennessee Titans defense can do because I don't think that they did anything to address the secondary other than adding Caleb McFarley. Caleb Farley, is he even good to play yet? He is. I think he is, right? He isn't? Okay,
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's
Either
cleared or not.
he is or not. It don't matter. He's not stopping D-Hop. He's not stopping AJ Green. He's not stopping, the tandem that they got over there. So good luck. Best of luck to them, though.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals as well. This is going to be an extremely high-scoring game. I know the Cardinals' front seven is honestly pretty good, but I think they're a little better in terms of pass rushing than they are actually stopping the run. And it's extremely hard to stop Derrick Henry. Plus, I just don't think they have the cornerbacks, especially with Malcolm Butler out, to stop Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. But I think this Cardinals defense, not their defense, but their offense is going to score just a couple more points in a very high-scoring game. Kyler Murray was sensational before he got hurt last year. Titans have nobody to cover D-Hop. So I expect, again, a very high-scoring game, but I do have the Cardinals pulling out here. But 49ers at Lions. Dash, you want to start us off here?
Look, this game to me is – I've said this for a long time, and I think the 49ers will win, but I think that this is one that you stay away from betting-wise. I think that if the Lions pick any game to just have the game of their season, it's going to be this one. I think that there's going to be a miraculous start for the Lions. Maybe Jared Goff comes out and throws 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns. The Lions fans get really excited and think, oh, man, maybe this is our guy. Rest of the season, he's going to stink it up. But I do think the Lions could be a dangerous team for an upset week 1.
Dash, not Dash, but Alex, I want to hear what you have to say because Dash actually thinks the Lions could upset.
Before you do, Aiden, let's go to Cody first. Let's go to Cody first. Cody got to get out of here.
Oh, yeah,
just super quick because I do have to get out of here, right? Do the 49ers have kneecaps? Yes. Are the Lions going to eat those kneecaps? Yes. But don't overthink it. 49ers, entirely better roster, so I'm going to take them to win this game. If you guys want to see the rest of my picks, because I will have a ton of money line picks, spread picks, total picks, all the beautiful things, and I'm hitting it like 65.5% on football so far this season. Make sure you sub to the TWSN Patreon. I got to hit out of here, fellas, but it has been an incredible show. Make sure we hit the sub. I can't wait to watch the rest of it because now I need to know your guys' picks.
Cody, hit me up tomorrow, man. We got to jump on the phone and talk.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes,
Turn
sir.
me up. You already know I'm
one.
Jazz. Let's go.
All right, Alex, take us away.
This one shouldn't take any analyzing or anything. The 49ers are just a way better team than the Lions. It's not even close. I think the 49ers are one of the best top-to-bottom rosters in the entire NFL. I mean, they're just good everywhere, and the Lions, we all know, are not. The Lions might be the top-to-bottom worst roster in the NFL. So give me the 49ers in a blowout.
Malik, I know you've been jazzed up for these past few predictions. This one isn't as tough, at least in my opinion, but who you got in this game?
Usually I was going to save this and say wait for my pick on the Patreon, but I'm not going to make y'all do that. You already know what it is. 49 is going to turn up on them boys. No problem.
Daniel?
Turn me up, 49ers. They are one of my favorite teams this year. Love their offense. Love their defensive line. Give me the 49ers. I'm like, this is one of my locks of the week. 49ers, hammer that.
And we appreciate the love too, Twan. We appreciate the love. Every single Wednesday night. Make sure all of you guys that are in here right now subscribe to the TWSN YouTube channel. We are almost at 1,000. Subscribe to the TWSN YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate it. And if you send us proof that you subscribe, we'll shout you guys out on the show. Maybe even have you on the show one time. Sure.
I'm going with the 49ers here as well. Pretty easy game for me. Just a much better roster. And I know Dash thinks the Lions could get off to a bit of a hot start. I know Dan Campbell's got that, trying to get that team at least fired up, but the talent gap is just huge here. I'm going with the 49ers. But to keep things rolling, Alex, I'm going to let you start off here. Steelers at Bills.
The Steelers are going to be a bad football team this year and last in the AFC North. Call me a homer if you want, but that's just the way I see it. I think the Steelers were the most lucky team at the beginning of last season. Like, they were not that good. As we saw at the end of the season, they started getting beaten by bad teams. So I think the Bills are a really good football team, and their offense is ridiculous. I get the Steelers' defense is really good. The Steelers, that's still what they have. They still have a good defense, but it's not going to matter because the Bills' offense is so deadly, no one's stopping them. Give me the Bills by a lot. I'll take the Bills no matter how many points I have to lay. I don't think this game is close. Give me the Bills.
So Alex is very, very confident in the Buffalo Bills. Daniel, do you share that same confidence, or do you see a bit of an upset happening here?
Hell no. No upset here, man. Listen, Buffalo Bills, they're one of my I gotta do it. They're my Super Bowl pick this year. Buffalo Bills are my Super Bowl pick, and they're gonna start it off right off the bat. They're gonna win this game. I don't think it's particularly close. Give me the Bills.
Well, Dash, you went like this, a facepalm. You know the facepalm emoji? That was Dash right there when Daniel brought up the Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl. So, Dash, I'll let you give your pick first, but then if you want to clarify why you disagree with the Bills going to the Super Bowl, by all means do so.
Yeah, the Bills aren't going to the Super Bowl, but they are going to win this game by a lot. I do think that this is just going to be a really fun team to watch all season long. I mean, as Alex said, there's really nobody stopping this offense. Josh Allen is an absolute monster at quarterback. And, I mean, I think Josh Allen finishes top 5 MVP voting. It's going to be a really good season for the Bills. They're not going to make the Super Bowl, though. That would be the Kansas City Chiefs out of the AFC. But I do really, really, really like the Buffalo Bills over the Steelers, although I do think the betting odds, if you do pick Steelers, could be worth the long shot.
Malik, I know. Well, Daniel, I'll let you jump in.
No, real quick. I just literally want to ask. Don't want to take up too much time. Why can the Bills not make the Super Bowl? Why?
Patrick Mahomes is better than Josh Allen, and the rest of the team for the Kansas City Chiefs will beat they're just a better team than the Bills are.
I don't know if they have a better roster than the Buffalo Bills. I don't think so. But we'll see. Bill, I'm telling you, man, Bill, this is. Me and Malik always talk about this. This is their year. If they're going to do it, it's this year.
Malik, I have a feeling I know
when they're going to do it.
If that's fair. That's fair. But I'm picking them, man.
Malik, I have a strong feeling I know who you're taking here because you're not the biggest Steelers guy, as we all know. But sure,
it's no bias here. It's no bias here when I say this next pick. It's simply just logic, right? Whenever I talk football, I try to take my bias hat off as much as possible. To be completely honest with you, if it was a team, if I thought the Steelers could win, I would say it. That being said, I think the Steelers can make it a lot closer than what people think, because it's just the Steeler way. It's what they tend to do. They tend to make games closer than they need to be, closer than they should be. However, by close, I usually mean like 3 points. I actually think the Bills are probably going to win by 10, maybe even run away with this game because it is in Buffalo. If it was in Pittsburgh, hell, I might even give the Pittsburgh Steelers an upset potentially, but it's not. It's in Buffalo, and I'm giving the Buffalo Bills are the way better team. They got to Daniel's talking point. They have a lot of aspirations for bigger things than just winning a football game, right? They're talking about Super Bowl and winning division. They're fighting for something much bigger. They know what's on the line for them. So that's where their headspace is. That's where their mindset is. And that's how the Bills are going to come into this game. And I think the Bills are going to prove that the Steelers are no longer the Pittsburgh Steelers of old.
And I'm going with the Buffalo Bills here as well. Pretty handily, like with confidence for sure. But this next game, Eagles at Falcons, we got the Birds facing off. Daniel, you want to lead us off here?
I mean, because I've been doing my research, right, and I've been trying to figure out, okay, what's the side for the Eagles? Eagles have the better defensive line and maybe the better offensive line, but besides that, that's it, right? The Atlanta Falcons are getting extremely underrated. Last year they won 4 games, but they lost a lot of one-score games. You still have Matt Ryan on that team. You added Kyle Pitts. You still have Calvin Ridley. You added
still got Russell Gage. Still got
Russell Gage, and people are going to laugh, but Russell Gage is a pretty damn good wide receiver too. Arthur Smith's coming back to that or going to the team. I like this team, and I'm not buying into the Eagles right away. I've talked to a lot of Eagles people. They're not confident. Jalen Hurts hasn't played recently. Give me the Falcons. They have the better quarterback, better team. Falcons here.
Well, I don't think they're getting underrated, to be completely honest with you. Right now, the predictions are around 5-6 wins. I think that's honestly fair for this Atlanta Falcons team. Their defense is still extremely soft. I don't love their offensive line. Listen, the Falcons, they could maybe push 7 games or something. They've still got a passing attack. Arthur Smith could be a very good head coach for all I know. But in this division, you've got the Buccaneers. They're going to win. I think the Saints are going to be right around 500, and same with the Panthers. At the end of the day, I think the Atlanta Falcons will finish last in this division, and I think their expectations right now are in a good spot. I don't think they're underrated.
I think when he said they're underrated, I think he's referring to this game.
Yeah.
A lot of people
yeah. Go ahead. Like just this game, like I think they're probably 3 to 4 point favorites. I think that's a good number, but right now this Falcons team, I don't see any reason why this Eagles team is going to win this week.
I think the Falcons are going to jump to an early lead and prove to people that they can hold on to leads, because that's the biggest thing with people. Is this the old Falcons, right? Now I think Arthur Smith is going to be a better head coach than Nick Sirianni. I think Nick Sirianni is
Agreed.
I just think that'll be interesting there. I think Jalen Hurts will have his moments, but I still wonder, can Jalen Hurts, if down, can he lead a team? Can he, and even if he gets a lead, can he maintain the lead? And I'm just not sure if he can do that. I've seen spurts from Jalen Hurts. I just don't think that. I think everyone is buying too much into the fantasy hype, and they think they're going to translate to the Philadelphia Eagles' success. And I don't think that's going to happen in this game in particular.
Well, Alex, I know you have Jalen Hurts in our fantasy league, so maybe you're higher on him.
Better not start him this week.
The rest of us. Yeah, well, what do you have? Who you got here? Because all the rest of us are taking the Falcons. I want to hear what Dash has to say too, but are you taking the Eagles for the upset?
Yes, I'm taking the Eagles for the upset. I'm not high on this Falcons team at all. I look at them last year, and they were not a very good team. I get they went through some struggles. I look at them this year; they still don't look like a very good team. Look, I'm not high on really any of the position groups for the Atlanta Falcons, if I'm being honest.
Deion Jones, Grady Jarrett. What you talking about?
Look. I know every
Fowler
team,
Jr.
They're NFL teams. Every NFL team has great players. With that being said, I don't think they work together as a unit effectively as they should with those names. Give me the Eagles. I think the Eagles are I'm not going to say they're really good, because they're not, but they're a better football team than anyone here is giving them credit for. And I'm going to start Jalen Hurts, and he's going to run all over the Falcons.
Yeah, run, because that's all he can do.
And it's going to translate to a lot of fantasy points.
All I'm saying is, what about their offensive line? Let's talk about their offensive line. They still don't have a good offensive line. They even talking about trading their former first round pick, the one that Andre Dillard.
He's not paying though.
What are we talking about here? Grady Jarrett going to tear through that offensive line like smooth butter. Zach and then Deion Jones is a great cover linebacker. So he on Dallas Goedert. He on Zach Ertz. Whoever's starting in those two fighting right now, Dallas Goedert's upset with the Eagles right now over a contract dispute, because he's upset that Zach Ertz is no longer, in the trading card, so to speak. So there's a lot of questions there. I don't think Jalen Hurts can lead this team. I don't think I think they kind of know that too, which is why they went out and traded for Gardner Minshew, just in case things fall off.
Dash, I want to let you jump in here.
Yeah, I think the only people who think the Eagles are going to win, I wish I got to say this earlier, but the only people who think that the Eagles are going to win are Jalen Hurts fantasy owners, just projecting. This Eagles team is not good. I like the Falcons a lot more. When we talk about position groups, look, the position group I'm most excited about is the one that they went and spent the 4th overall pick on. That's Kyle Pitts. It's a tight end. Smith, longtime tight end coach. That's what he was before he was the offensive coordinator in Tennessee. He was a tight end coach. I'm really excited to see how he's going to be able to use Kyle Pitts. And I think that the Eagles are there. Who's guarding Kyle Pitts? Do they have a safety who's guarding him? Do they have a linebacker who's guarding him? No, they absolutely do not. The Eagles do not have anybody who can cover him. And I'm really excited to see him maybe get 8 catches, his first NFL touchdown against the Eagles week 1. I think it's going to be a really, really fun game to watch for Falcons fans. For Eagles fans, I'm really, really sorry.
I'm taking the Falcons here as well. Not huge on them this year, but I like the Falcons more than the Eagles. And I think their passing game's going to have a lot of success. They're going to tear up this Eagles secondary this week. And when I look at the Eagles offense, I don't buy Nick Sirianni. I don't buy Jalen Hurts. I don't buy their left tackle situation. And I know they just drafted Devante Smith, and Jalen Reagor could have some more success in his sophomore season, but it's not like they have a dominant receiving core either. So I'm going to take the Falcons in this one. But now we have Browns at Chiefs. This is arguably the biggest game of the week. Two of the best teams in football going at it. Dash, why don't you lead us off?
This one's a toughie. I think this is a really game here. I'm not gonna, definitely would not be betting on this one, but I think I like the Chiefs here. I think top to bottom, they don't necessarily have a better roster, but playing against Patrick Mahomes week 1 so far in his career has been very, very tough for his opponents. Patrick Mahomes looks great week 1 every year or so far, and I'm excited to see him
put on a show again. But I am slightly worried about just top to bottom this Browns roster not really having any holes.
Malik, I see you over there, and I know I'm pretty sure I know who you're going with, but this is obviously a close game, so give us your thoughts.
If you want my pick, you got to subscribe to the TWSN Patreon. This is a premium matchup. A lot of people are asking, and it's simple, guys. Support the work that the fantastic team does here at TWSN. We put a lot of time, a lot of efforts, a lot of late nights, going through our homework and making our picks. And I do the exact same. So go if you want to hear my pick for the Browns Chiefs game, subscribe to the TWSN Patreon. We're a membership for everyone. And I'm going to give my pick out. I'm going to give a free pick out for people on the Patreon, even if you don't have the GOAT membership.
Alex, give us your thoughts.
I will absolutely hammer this one. Even though the Browns have, in my opinion, the best roster in the entire NFL, because they do. They have the best roster top to bottom. The NFL, most of the time, it comes down to who has the better quarterback. This is a quarterback league, and Patrick Mahomes is worlds better than Baker Mayfield. So give me the Chiefs. I'll lay the points. It's in Arrowhead, not to mention it's an extremely hard place to play. So give me the Chiefs to beat the Browns.
And John, to your point, my man, that's why we're trying to hit that 1,000 mark. That's a 1,000-yard mark, like we're Derrick Henry or something. But that's why we're trying to hit that 1,000 mark. If you guys can, tell your friends, tell your family about TWSN. For all of you guys that are in the chat right now, subscribe to the TWSN YouTube channel. Like I said, we have a live show each and every single day. And if you like what we do here, if you like the energy that we bring, if you like the facts that we present, subscribe. That's free to do. If you don't want to join the Patreon, at least subscribe to the TWSN YouTube channel. I promise you, none of these shows will let you down.
Preach, Malik. So, Daniel, we're going to have you end this matchup off here.
Yeah, and before I jump in, I have to just one last time talk about the Patreon. Listen, even if you guys aren't betting for one of our tiers, you guys can join the TWSN betting team Discord. We're talking every single day talking about football. We're talking about fantasy football. We're talking about everything. Tell your friends, anybody in betting, let them know TWSN betting service or betting advice on Patreon. But this one's tough. I think this one's a trap, right? I think I'm too scared to make a pick. I'm going to go with the Browns here. I think the Browns upset them, but for sure, I'm much more confident in the +6 for the Browns. I'll take it. It's going to be a close game. I like the Browns, man. They played a very close game in the playoffs against against them last year. I like the Browns here. I think this is one of the big trap games of this entire week. Give me the Browns week 1.
Right, it's a close game. I'm actually going to go with the Browns as well. I know the Chiefs are, they've come out of the AFC East, or not the AFC, but just the AFC in general, like the past 2-3 years. So I'm taking the Browns here, though. I see the Chiefs losing week 1 and then riding into the sunset after that, losing maybe 1 or 2 more games. They're going to go 15-2 to 13-4, somewhere around that range. They'll still have a dominant year, but the Browns are arguably the toughest team on their schedule. So I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns. But moving on, Malik, why don't you start us off here? Packers at Saints.
Come on. I'm going with my home. Nah, I'm joking.
I knew you would.
I'm going with my guy, man. He's out for blood this season. The Packers pissed him off. You want to talk about revenge season? You want to talk about, listen, I call this a murderous row. And I don't do that often, right? I say anybody that has to play the Green Bay Packers this year, I'm picking against you. Unless it's like maybe the Bucs, maybe. Aaron Rodgers there's something special about a motivated quarterback that has the capabilities to take his team over the top. I know Dash covers the Green Bay Packers for us here at TWSN. Last time I saw a quarterback like this, that was sort of had the eye of the tiger, so to speak. It was Cam Newton back when his number 1 receiver tore his ACL and he took the Panthers to the Super Bowl with Jericho Cotchery, Devin Funchess. Those were his teammates, his receivers to throw to that year. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna do something special this year, and unfortunately, my team is gonna fall in the crosshairs of what an Aaron Rodgers pissed off season looks like. Aaron Rodgers is they might win this game by a lot. I mean, but Jameis Winston can also shock people too. But with his top target out in Michael Thomas, I expect in the issues that they also have at the cornerback position, I expect Aaron Rodgers to run away with this game.
Dash, take us away.
Yeah, look, this Packers team is deadly. Like Malik said, Aaron Rodgers, he's going to do something this year. He's been my MVP pick for a while, and I mean it's well founded. We've seen, obviously, he's the reigning MVP. We know exactly what Aaron Rodgers can do, but we've never seen him this motivated. Go ahead, Malik.
Dash, start. If you have Packers receivers, this is the one thing I'll say. If you have Packers receivers, especially against this banged up Saints secondary, start the Packers receiver. I might even start Randall Cobb this week. If you have a Packers receiver, start them. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to go on a tear week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, number one receiver still in this offense. We got Devante Adams, and Devante Adams is another guy who I think is going to be playing absolutely pissed off. He is already. I think he reaffirmed today his contract negotiation stance has not changed. He's not re-signing with the Packers. He's going to be gone. But we know how contract year receivers, contract year any skill position players, they like to turn it up a little bit. They like to show everybody what they got. And then with the quarterback play of Aaron Rodgers, the receiver play of Devante Adams, not only are the Packers going to just dominate this game against the Saints, they're going to be a real contender for the Super Bowl.
It's like the Migos song, "You people in trouble."
Yeah.
Alex, do you think the Saints are in trouble this week? Do you think they can actually pull off the upset?
The Saints are 100% in trouble, and that's sad to say because I think Jameis Winston is going to come up on a big year this year. I think Jameis Winston is going to have his best year of his career this year, but not before he gets the dog beaten out of him by Aaron Rodgers, the future Super Bowl champion of this season. Aaron Rodgers, to me, is the best quarterback in the entire NFL, and like Malik said, I'm riding with the same way he is. I'm not betting against the Packers against anyone. I don't care who the Packers play. They could play the Bucs, the Chiefs, the Browns. I don't care who they play. I'm picking the Packers.
Daniel, round us off here.
My boy Jameis, man. Listen, I'm gonna pick the Packers. But Jameis Winston, I'm excited to see.
So Daniel's such a troll.
I'm excited to see how he does, man. Like fantasy wise, pick him up. He's gonna have a great season this year. Give me the Packers though. It's a neutral field. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devante Adams. Not confident Jameis Winston winning this week. Love Jameis Winston, one of my favorite players. He's gonna have a great fantasy year. Just give me Packers all day long here.
I'm taking the Packers as well. I think a pissed off Aaron Rodgers is going to eat this week, and I think the receivers are going to eat as well with that quarterback throwing to them. And again, as Malik alluded to, the Saints are banged up in the secondary, so guys like Devante Adams, Randall Cobb, they're going to eat this week as well. So Broncos at Giants. Alex, why don't you lead us off here?
I'm taking the Broncos 100%. I am not high on this Giants team at all in any way, shape, or form, but I think that the Broncos are a little underrated, actually. I think the Broncos have a pretty good defense this year. The Broncos are going to end up having a good defense this year. I think they have weapons. I think Jerry Jeudy is going to take the next step this year. And Teddy Bridgewater is a good enough quarterback to not make the mistakes that you would have to make to get beaten by the Giants. You have to make mistakes for this Broncos team to get beat by the Giants. If you don't make mistakes, you're not going to lose. And Drew Lock, maybe I'd say, I don't know, maybe he throws a few picks, but Teddy Bridgewater is going to keep this game under control. The Broncos are going to win it.
Don't play my boy, Drew.
Daniel, keep us moving here.
Yeah, give me the Broncos. The Giants have looked bad all offseason. In training camp, I talked to a lot of Giants people saying the offensive line is not looking good. Give me the Broncos. Their defense is going to be top 5 in the NFL. It's looked terrific. Teddy Bridgewater is going to lead a conservative offense, have way more faith in this Broncos team than the Giants.
Dash, do you share the same view?
Yep, Broncos are going to win.
Okay, Malik?
Alex Cat making an appearance for your right? Legend. Yeah, give me the Broncos.
I agree here as well. So we're going to move on to the Dolphins at Patriots. And you know I have to let Daniel start. Daniel, you should be excited right now because our New England Patriots are going to start off with a Week 1 victory. But I'm going to let you take it away and start. I'll share my thoughts in a bit.
Yeah, man, I'm curious to hear your thoughts, but give me the Patriots. Like the Dolphins, everyone pretty much knows, all offseason I've been saying it. I'm not confident in this team, right? Something interesting. Tua was not released as a captain, so he's not a team captain. And this team is talented. They are a talented team, but last year they overachieved. right? So they overachieved last year. The Patriots, we've seen in the preseason, they're the same old Patriots getting that defense back, top 10 defense. Mac Jones can run that offense. Love Bill Belichick week 1, starting out the season in New England with a win. Give me the Patriots.
Malik, I know you're big on the Patriots this year. You got them winning week 1?
Patriots. Bill Belichick doesn't lose at home week 1. Does not happen.
Dash, what about you?
Patriots. Yeah, Patriots are going to win, like Malik said. Week 1 at home, Bill Belichick. I'm just definitely going Patriots.
Alex?
Muted. You're muted.
Alex, you're muted.
I'm sorry, I had to handle the
singing for a second. Singing.
The Patriots are, I think, very improved, and I think the Dolphins are worse than they seemed last year. So give me the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots as well. Last year, it was Cam Newton's first game against the Miami Dolphins. They gave him a simple, easy script that he could handle. The offense played well. This year, I think it's going to be the same thing for Mac Jones. He's going to play well. But this year, you've got more talent on the offense to help out Mac Jones. You could argue Jones in 2021 is better than 2020 Cam Newton. And I just don't think this Dolphins offense is going to be able to put up a whole lot of points against this Patriots defense. So I'm going with my New England Patriots.
One word to describe this New England Patriots this year, this offense is going to be efficient. Mm-hmm. And I think Tua is going to make one too many mistakes.
So Malik, while you're at it, how about you lead us off with Sunday Night Football, Bears at Rams?
Rams. Just Rams. I'm disgusted with I think the Bears defense is going to be bad this year. Eric DeSilva did not impress me as a defense coordinator. His guys can't tackle. They couldn't get pressure. And I think Matthew Stafford is going to have a coming out party in LA. And I think we're going to really see what a Sean McVay offense looks like when you don't have to baby a Jared Goff.
Dash, I know we talked a little bit about Matt Stafford and the Rams last week. So do you have them winning in week 1?
Yeah, absolutely. Rams, I think, are going to win their division, and the Bears are going to be a pretty crapshoot team this year. Defense looked bad, but the only bright spot they have, I think, to look forward to is whenever Justin Fields gets handed the keys.
Alex?
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. They have a great defense, and I really am excited to see what Matthew Stafford does as well. Give me the Rams.
All right, Daniel, who you got?
I'm curious. The biggest thing that I want to see out of the Rams is the run game and how do their safeties look without John Johnson. That's what I'm curious to see, but they win this game against the Bears pretty easily.
Yep, they will. I actually have Matt Stafford winning MVP as we speak. I think Stafford's extremely underrated. I want to see how this playbook opens up with Stafford under center, but nonetheless, they'll win this game. So, Alex, how about Monday Night Football? It's our final game, Ravens at Raiders. Who you got?
I think the Ravens are going to take a small step down from where they've normally been, but that doesn't mean they can't win this game. I'm not high on the Raiders in any sort of way. But the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, I think that they're going to have to start to change their playbook up a little bit because I think it is starting to – the league's starting to catch on to it. With that being said, I think that the Ravens still absolutely own the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Give me Lamar Jackson.
Alex said that in the most southern, nice way. Of the league is starting to pick up. The league knows your plays. On. And like Lamar Jackson even said it last year, people know our plays before we even do it. So repetitive. So repetitive.
It is. So, Daniel, are you going to be repetitive here? Like everybody else take the Ravens, or are you going to spice it up and take the Raiders?
I'm telling you guys, listen, week 1 is always a crapshoot. People always walk into week 1 so confident, say, oh, I'm going to pick this favorite. Mm-hmm. The Raiders, man. I'm low on the Raiders this year, but listen, come out week 1, John Gruden in the Allegiant Stadium first time with fans. Woo! J.K. Dobbins just got hurt. Justice Hill just got hurt. Rashad Bateman might not play. Woo! Home stadium, baby. Give me the Raiders. I'm going to go with the upset here. Give me the Raiders. I like the Ravens. I like Lamar Jackson, but I think this can just be a trap game right off the bat. Raiders start off, let's say they start off hot, 14-0 right off the bat. I think the Raiders take this.
Malik, keep us rolling.
There's an old Bible scripture. It says, what good is it to gain the world but lose your soul? What good is it to go undefeated in preseason but lose in week 1? Because that's what's going to happen. The Raiders are going to lose to the Ravens are going to lose to the Raiders week 1 in Allegiant Stadium. I feel it. I feel it. And I've been trying to tell people, oh, well, the Ravens have like a winning record week 1. It's different. Monday Night Football, them Raider fans packing Allegiant Stadium. Yeah, give me the Raiders in this game. And I was gonna say save it for the Patreon, but I wanted to be a nice guy and give you some picks out there, guys. I got the Raiders in this one.
Dash, you rolling with the upset, or are you sticking with the Ravens here?
I'm rolling with the upset. This is going to be the worst Ravens offense that we've seen in some time. You look at the running back position, they have Gus Edwards, and I don't believe in Le'Veon Bell. I think that this running back room is bad. I think that receiving core, they addressed it slightly, but like you said, Rashad Bateman might not play. I'm not super high on Sammy Watkins. I think he's a solid number 2, and Hollywood Brown he just hasn't done it for me yet. While I do like Mark Andrews, this O-line is still worse. They lost. They don't have Orlando Brown anymore, right? This is going to be the worst offense that we've seen from the Ravens in some time, and I think we're going to see it on Monday night. I think the betting on the Ravens is a dangerous game here.
Well, I would not necessarily pick the Ravens as a survivor, whatever, where you can only pick one team once each week. And I do see the upset potential. I absolutely see the points you guys made, but I'm going to stick with the Ravens. I just think they're the better football team. And again, the upset potential is there. I'm just not big on the Raiders, and I know they pop every couple of games, but each year I'm just sticking with the Ravens here. So that's going to end it for our picks. Malik, I'll let you take over.
Guys, thank you guys for sticking with us for a long show. We appreciate it. Guys, while you're here again, make sure you subscribe to the TWSN YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button. We promise you we won't disappoint you. We have an awesome team here, our live shows each and every single day. Subscribe to the TWSN Patreon. Catch our show every single Wednesday night. We got a crew here, guys. We have a crew here, and we love talking sports. We even love talking sports when we get to share it with you guys. So with that being said, appreciate you guys for sticking in. Hope you guys enjoy some awesome football tomorrow. Make sure you guys keep it locked. Tomorrow, there's a new show debuting on the TWSN YouTube channel called Shop Talk. Yeah, Shop Talk. And I'm excited for Dom and Trey and Ozzy and those guys. We're excited. Got so much more to get into with the season underway. And as always, you guys can catch the Strikes and Submissions, our MMA and boxing show tomorrow as well. And Sunday marks the return of the TWSN kickoff show, which our guy Aiden Michael Mayer will be making his debut, and we are excited for it. I didn't mean to drop your government, but I did. So he'll be making his debut on the TWSN kickoff show, and we're all excited for it. Catch TWSN Tailgate on Saturdays. And guys, as always, we appreciate you for joining in the conversation. We'll see you here next Wednesday, and hopefully our picks hit for you. See you guys.
The marathon continues. The Mamba mentality has left a mark. Shout out to the NBA legend, Kobe, and your daughter, Gigi. From Tom Brady to Drew Bledsoe. Rain, sleet, or snow, I grind. I am Clutch. I am the difference maker.